Hi, I'm Andy Krantz, and I'm here to help introduce you to the world of Rheem tankless water heating. Now notice I did say tankless, a bit of an odd concept since we've all grown up with a tank-style water heater in our basement, garage, or somewhere else in our home. As the leading provider of water heating solutions in North America, Rheem is dedicated to finding new and innovative ways to meet the water heating needs of their customers. Now, let's talk about why tankless water heating will appeal to your customers. As you know, a tank-style water heater holds a reservoir of water that it consistently heats in order to maintain a specified temperature, whether you're using hot water or not. As hot water is being used, cold water refills the tank and is reheated. In situations where there is unusually high demand, sufficient hot water might not be available. On the other hand, Rheem tankless water heaters only heat the water when you need it, and then provide a continuous supply of hot water. As a result, Rheem tankless water heaters are very energy efficient and extremely convenient. The use of clean-burning natural gas or propane gas combined with the advanced technology in Rheem water heaters allows them to achieve an energy factor of 0.82. This is substantially better than the 0.58 to 0.62 energy factors delivered by tank-type water heaters. Combine this energy factor with the fact that there's no standby loss and no standing pilot, and your customer can expect to see a noticeable savings in energy costs. Another benefit of Rheem tankless water heating is how much space it saves. Residential models take up only 2 to 4 cubic feet of space, compared with about 40 cubic feet of space taken by the average 40-gallon tank style. This really adds to the flexibility of where you can place the water heater for maximum household efficiencies. No more worrying about having to purchase a low-profile unit for crawl space or not being able to step up to the size of water heater your customer requires just because of space limitations. In addition, the small footprint of the tankless water heater means they can be installed closer to where the hot water is needed, reducing the amount of water that may be wasted waiting for the water at the tap to get hot. Rheem also offers tankless models that are specifically engineered and designed to be installed outdoors. You can imagine how convenient this is for new construction or retrofit installations when you are adding hot water capacity to a finished basement or other similar situations. One feature of the Rheem tankless water heater that I'm sure you'll appreciate is the digital remote control thermostat. The thermostat provides precise temperature control and can be conveniently located in the house, allowing you to adjust the water temperature to meet your needs as and when they change. In fact, many homeowners choose to set the water temperature at the remote control for the desired shower temperature, eliminating the need to mix hot and cold water for the shower. This same remote control also provides a digital display of information for easy maintenance and troubleshooting. Features you don't see are the myriad of safety and self-diagnostic components within the unit, many of which are exclusive to Rheem. These electronic sentries are there to ensure that your tankless water heater operates at the highest standards for safety and comfort. Most importantly, the Rheem tankless water heater is built by a company whose name you know, a company that has been manufacturing water heaters for over 100 years. And that's why we say, relax, it's Rheem. I'd like to introduce you to Jim Connors with Rheem Water Heating. He's here to help us understand some of the technical aspects of Rheem tankless water heaters, and he's going to help us understand how to install the water heater. Thanks for being here, Jim.
Thanks, Andy. Before we get started, I'd just like to say we have an awful lot of information that we're going to cover in this series. We can't possibly provide all the information that's necessary to do a proper installation. Before anybody starts a project like this, we always recommend familiarize yourself with the use and care manual provided with the water heater, and also consult your local building and plumbing codes before taking on a project like this.
And I'm glad you mentioned that because I've learned that Rheem is very focused on product safety, and you must have a proper professional installation in order for the product to be efficient and operate safely. So what type of applications are tankless water heaters appropriate for?
Tankless water heaters are perfect for a number of applications, including new home construction, retrofits, additions, and a variety of commercial applications for schools or restaurants or hotels, applications like that.
Vacation homes, second homes for families?
That's a perfect application for these in particular because the water heater is essentially off unless there's a demand for hot water.
I understand that Rheem makes several different tankless models, so how do you decide which is the right one for an application?
It's a good question, Andy. It's really about anticipated flow rate, making the determination as to how you're going to be using your hot water, if you'll be using a shower or a dishwasher and a washing machine at one point or the same time, for instance.
Sure. Can you give a specific example of what that means in a house?
Sure. When you're sizing any tankless water heater or any water heater for that matter, you always want to size it for your peak demand application. That's usually during the morning hours when many folks are showering. Tankless water heaters, by virtue of their technology, raise the incoming water temperature, the groundwater, up to the set point of the thermostat. As a result, and because they maintain no storage, we always try and calculate that in a gallons per minute figure.
Okay, that sounds a little bit complicated.
Actually, it's pretty simple. You can just add up the flow rates of all the fixtures that may be in use at any one time, and that'll help you determine your hot water demand. Then refer to the manufacturer's specifications to make sure you select the right water heater for you.
Okay. What about climate? Does that affect how the unit operates or which model you should select?
It's a good question because, as I mentioned, the water heater raises the groundwater temperature to the set point of the thermostat. What that means is in those colder months or when your groundwater is colder, the water heater will perform differently.
So if you live in a colder climate, you may want to consider a larger unit, perhaps?
That's true. That's very true. In fact, that's part of the reason that Rheem has put together some sizing information that we include with our water heaters and also on our website at rheemtankless.com.
Okay. And so I understand that to keep a constant temperature, the flow rate may decrease, and you need to consider that if you live in a colder climate. Be sure to scale to meet your needs.
That's right. And the next step is to consult your local building codes to make sure that you select the right water heater for you as well.
Are there any special considerations for this installation, or is it more or less just like installing a tank-style water heater?
Actually, the installations are very similar, but there are a few key differences that need to be taken into consideration to ensure a proper installation.
Okay, what are the differences?
Well, there's a few. First of all is the stainless steel vent material. Indoor products require a sealed stainless steel vent material be used instead of a standard B vent like you might find with an atmospheric product. That's because of the flue gases and the condensation that could occur in a power vented appliance like that.
Okay, what else is different?
Well, because the tankless water heaters heat the water on demand, the burner typically is much larger than you'll find in a standard storage type water heater. This may sound a little odd, but keep in mind the water heater is only on when there is a demand for hot water. In addition, it's got a fully modulating burner, so it's only going to use as much gas as needed to meet the demand.
So you may need to check to see that your gas supply is adequate.
Absolutely. In fact, depending on which model you choose, you're either going to need a 1/2 inch or a 3/4 inch gas supply line. We always recommend you consult your local gas utility to make sure that your gas line is sized properly.
Okay, anything else?
There is a couple things to maintain, or make sure that you maintain proper clearances, and also to make sure that there's enough combustion air to supply the unit. This information is provided for you in your use and care manual, and typically if you're in an installation where the water heater is in the basement or located outdoors, very rarely will there be any sort of problem with the combustion air. The next step is to determine where the water heater is going to be located.
I suppose if we're just replacing a tank-style water heater that was already there, we could just put the new unit where that one was.
Well, absolutely. That's the easiest way to do it. But there may be some other things to take into consideration. In particular, you may pay close attention to the exhaust vent that's there, the gas supply line, and for instance, if the water heater's in a closet, you may decide to use that space for something else.
Okay, so because this unit's smaller, we may end up with more usable space in the home.
That's right. And regardless of where you decide to put the water heater, the best place is to put it on an exterior wall that's close to the gas supply line, water supply lines, and an electrical power source.
Okay, now why an exterior wall?
Well, because the water heater is a gas appliance, it has to be vented to the outside of the home. If it's not mounted on an exterior wall, that's the easiest and cheapest way to run the venting.
Will any exterior wall do just as well?
It will, but always pay close attention to the clearances as they're outlined in the use and care manual.
And that makes sense. What else?
Again, make sure you maintain proper clearances around the water heater. 1/2 inches on the side, 12 inches from the front and the bottom.
Are there any locations that you'd advise that would not be appropriate for installation?
Well, not that anyone would want to, but always make sure you do not install a gas appliance in a bedroom or bathroom, and it's always a good idea to maintain at least 18 inches off the floor for clearance.